Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this tarot reading is for you. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, a Five of Wands. Feels like there is feels like there's a wrestling match going on right now. It could be something internal. It could be that we're kind of struggling to stick with something even when we're kind of getting burned out on it. I feel like I feel like we've kind of had enough of something, but we're trying to keep ourselves on the path. We're trying to stick with it. You're not usually somebody that likes conflict. I don't think you seek conflict out, but you don't avoid it either. Okay, so sometimes the Five is like a big flashing light in our life, and we can't help but look at it. You know, it's something that's trying to get our attention, I think, energetically. Okay, in terms of your will and where you're applying your energy. There's something going on that's kind of forcing us I guess asking us to look at some other options, look at some other things, and we're sort of, again, there's that wrestling match. Okay, let's put this card into a little bit of context. It's possible this is taking place outside of you, but it's sometimes this is a question of what behavior, what response do I need to offer? What do I need to do with my energy right now? Okay, and we've got a Princess of Wands. Okay, a Queen of Cups, a Three of Cups, the Death card, and a Three of Wands. Yes. Okay, so the way forward is fire energy for you. The way forward is to listen to what your gut is telling you here. And perhaps it is time to experiment with some new things. Okay? Over here we have a Seven of Wands, more fire energy. The Leo Lust card, more fire energy. We have an Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Lovers card at the end. Yeah, makes sense. I like a lot of this fire energy that's sort of leading to a deeper union, that's leading to a more spiritual commitment. Okay, this is a choice. Let's select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, the Factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Mr. Ed, the little horse, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now let's look around the room. We have a couple of major arcana, 1, 2, 3, which is kind of a fire, a water, and an air card. This is a Scorpio, Leo, and we've got a Gemini card there. So I like that we have a kind of balance. We have something that is going to really have everything that you're looking for. Okay, because I feel right now that there's kind of this there's this energetic shift that's taking place in you. It's kind of like you feel obligated to stick with something, but you're not really feeling it anymore. You know, I think that something had the potential to be really great. I think we walked into something, we said, this might be it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see how it goes. I think we've been doing it, and we've been kind of forcing ourselves to keep doing it, thinking, okay, any day now it's going to feel good. Any day now it's going to hit, you know. And I don't think it is. I think that something inside of you is saying, it's time to go. It's time to try something else. It's time to sort of leave this project kind of unfinished and go in search of something that's going to resonate with you a little bit more, okay? Because the 5 is not resonance. The 5 is like there's conflict here, and maybe internal or external conflict. I think it's mostly something inside of us. but it's between you and this other thing. It's a person, it's a place, it's a thing, it's an activity, it's the job that we've taken, it's the project, the endeavor, the quest that we embarked upon that now we're feeling like I have to kind of force myself to do it because there's something that's incompatible here. It almost feels like a square peg in a round hole. Yeah. So we've got our majors. I like that we have the water, the fire, and the balance of the air. We've got obviously fire, 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 fire. We've got water and water. We don't have any air cards. And we got a little bit of earth, okay? So why is there really no air cards? Well, we have the Gemini air card at the end, but otherwise there's really no air here at all, right? There's maybe a little bit of air in the Leo energy. I know this is a fire card. It's a Leo card, but it's a fixed air energy, okay? So it seems like there's a little bit of communication compatibility here and here as well. It feels like over here on the path of the dove, we were hoping that this would be a partnership, whether it's between, I mean, it could be a romance. I know, put your pitchforks away. It could be. But it could be a friendship. It could be with a particular project or a job or really anything at all that we have recently attempted, you know, that we said, oh, I'm going to get together with this thing. I'm going to see if it works. I think we went into it thinking maybe this is going to have the passion. Maybe this is going to really resonate with me. This could be the one. It could be the thing. And I think we're the longer we are here, the more we kind of feel this tension inside of us. Okay, because the Five of Wands, it is that kind of fight energy. It is this idea that we have to force ourselves to stick with this thing, which again, it's discipline. It's our ability to control our own actions and behaviors and control how we direct our will. But when do we sort of admit? When do we say to ourselves, "Okay, this isn't resonating with me. There is something going on deep inside of me right now that's kind of like it's telling, like my soul is trying to tell me, like not here." You know, I feel like this is. We were hoping that this would be the perfect compatibility, that we would feel a kind of a true love, a resonance, that we'd feel a connection here. But there's something inside of you that's saying, this isn't the one, right? I feel like in a way you feel something in your gut that we can only imagine is like our soul, our psyche, maybe our true self, our unconscious kind of saying, nope, not this one. This doesn't feel right. Okay. The Princess of Wands here, it's an impulsive energy. The Princess of Wands is the energy that kind of goes around, starts a lot of little fires everywhere, and doesn't really ever put them out. Starts a lot of projects and then sort of abandons them. It's like a toddler that they go and they get all the toys out in all these different areas of the house or something, but they never put anything away. We start things, we don't finish them. We move on to something else. We start it, we don't finish it, and that's kind of the energy of the Princess of Wands. Okay, and this seems to be the kind of issue that we're dealing with because we don't want to be that person. We have this idea, especially Capricorn, right? That's kind of it's a kind of a foundational aspect of the Capricorn energy. If I start something, I finish it. I start up the mountain, well, I'm going to get to the top of the mountain. And so we don't want to be that person that just does something halfway and says, no, I'm going to go do something else, right? But what if what we're committed to is not really, we feel it deep in our gut, and we are starting to realize that it's just not for me. Do I need to finish it anyway? Do I need to stick with it anyway? Okay. And well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. The tarot's not going to tell you what to do. But the tarot is telling you that, yeah, right now you have to deal with that urge to abandon this project and go start something that may be more resonant, maybe more compatible with your spirit and your energy. Okay. Now, whether this means that I've got to fulfill my obligation, I said I'd be here for 2 weeks, I am going to do 2 weeks, and then I'm out. That's your decision to make. Okay. But the Queen of Cups down here at the bottom, I think that this is us lifting the veil of our own emotions. I think there is something deep inside of you right now that's trying to send you a message. Trying to send you this message of saying that where you are and what you're doing right now is not the thing that, not really what you're supposed to be doing. Now, we may be asking, okay, well, what is that? What is that thing? Or what does that mean? Or what am I supposed to do instead? I think that we have to understand what this feels like before we are going to determine, well, what should I be doing? We have to kind of be aware of, well, what shouldn't I be doing? Okay. But the problem with the Five of Wands is that we have to really look deep within. We have to go past the surface level, past the shallow end of the pool. We have to get really to the depths here, to the bottom of the bottom, and ask ourselves, where is this fiery impulse coming from? Where is this impulse to abandon this thing and get out of there, get some fresh air, and find the thing that really belongs to me? You know, where is that coming from? Is that a fear? Is that a fear of commitment? Is that just my ego kind of like not having fun? You know? So we have to really lift the veil of these emotions, because the surface level is just, I'm just reflecting what everybody else is doing. What everybody else wants, what their goals are, that's what I'm doing too. And so that's like really surface level, reflective level. We're not in touch with ourselves at all. The shallow end is us maybe asking the questions, okay, this thing that I'm doing now, whether it's a relationship or a project or a job or a practice or whatever it is, a skill we're trying to learn, an instrument we're trying to play or whatever, is it just the shallow end? Is it just my ego seeking pleasure and running from pain? Is that why I feel the Five of Wands right now? Because the ego is just like kind of freaking out because it's not all fun and games? Or is there something deeper? We look to the very, very depths and we understand that if this goes beyond ego, is this my soul trying to tell me that it does not support what I'm doing anymore? Is that why I feel that feeling in my tummy? Because my soul is saying, nope, I'm not supporting, I'm not condoning this, you know? That sometimes the soul, the psyche, or the true self will withdraw its support of what we're doing. And then we are left with feelings of anxiety, feelings of that tension, the friction of the Five of Wands. But we have to be able to lift the veil and ask ourselves, where is that coming from? Is that just me, like, you know, not wanting the hard work? Is that me when things get a little bumpy and the ego wants to run, you know? We have to have the conversation, right? Because there's no swords cards here. We need to think about this. We need to ask the questions of our own soul to find out, what are you trying to tell me? Okay, you're not somebody that's just trying to, as quickly as possible, eliminate that feeling, right? Because the quickest way to eliminate the feeling of the Five of Wands is for the Princess of Wands to just abandon this gig and go start another one somewhere else. But the problem is, as you know, you'll be right back in the same position very shortly. Okay? So rather than just being impulsive Princess of Wands and jumping into something else in order to alleviate the feeling of the Five of Wands, we're going to ask ourselves in the depth of our emotions, what is going on here? Why am I feeling this way truly? Okay? Well, we need to have the conversation. I think in this situation that you're in, whether this is a relationship with a person, a place, or a thing, I feel like there's not the compatibility, there's not the passion, there's not the connection and the love, there's not the growth there that you thought there would be. Okay? The major arcana energies. We want passion and we want love. We want to feel that this is a relationship that's making me stronger, that I can grow, I can evolve spiritually. We want to feel that this is the right choice for me. Okay, maybe we don't like who we're becoming in this relationship. Every relationship is an alchemical process. Okay, we're changed through any relationship that we have, whether it's with a person or a path or an idea or a belief or a skill or a martial art or a stamp collection. It doesn't matter. We're changed in that process. And we'd like to think that we're changing the other thing too, but maybe the Five of Wands is saying that we don't really like We don't really like who we're becoming in this situation. Now, it's nobody's fault necessarily. It may just be square peg in a round hole. Okay. But in the background, the sort of recent past is the Three of Cups here. There was a potential here for love. We thought, this might feel good. This might be a good thing. This might lead to really a nice love compatibility. Maybe the Three of Cups I feel inside is going to find a Three of Cups out there. It's going to be a perfect fit. You know, it's going to be that perfect harmony. Because the Three of Cups is that abundance that we feel inside, who I am, what my beliefs, what my values are, what I love, what I want, kind of my energy. And what the Three of Cups wants is another Three of Cups out there to make that Six of Cups, to make that nice, harmonious relationship, yeah? So I feel like we went into this thinking, well, maybe this is going to be right for me. Let me experiment. Let me try it out. And I think we're saying to ourselves, this could be the one. This could feel really good. This could be a nice, happy time, you know? There could be a lot of growth here. There could be passion. There could be growth. There could be a deep spiritual bond, right? This could be the one. But once we get there and we spend some time here, I don't know how long this has been, but we feel the Five of Wands instead of another Three and a compatibility, and even getting this Three, right, give us that Six. And this, of course, is Saturn in Leo. This is a Leo card. So I feel like the situation you're in now, the reason why you feel this Five of Wands is because you feel like this is a connection, a relationship, again, with a person, a place, or thing, a relationship that's constricting us rather than expanding us. Okay? We want that big Jupiter growth. We want transformation. We want love. We want growth and progress and development. We don't want to feel as if our world is getting smaller. We don't want to feel as if we were being squeezed. Right? And so now up top we have the Death card. The Death card is a card of letting go. The Death card is also this reminder that, well, you know what, good things take time, that changes happen slowly over the course of time and space. So this is another factor too. I think, well, maybe there is a lot of growth here, and maybe it's important that I go through this Five of Wands and not just abandon this situation, and that's going to lead to the growth, you know. And again, Spirit's not telling you what to do. I sure as heck am not telling you what to do. Tarot is taking a snapshot of the energies right now, but the ultimate decisions are up to you. Okay? And that's exactly what we see at the end. You are choosing something that is for your highest spiritual good. This is a card that says, heck yes, 1,000% committed to something. Whether it's the same thing or something new, that's going to be your call. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? But the Death card is, you know, reminding us that what we really want is this spiritual development. We want to be on a path that is going to lead somewhere, right? Not a dead-end path. We also are recognizing that our time is short, so we shouldn't waste too much time on things that we know deep inside of us, not meant for me, not right for me. It's like, you know, I love you, I respect you, but not for me. Okay, and so in the tradition of Don Juan and Carlos Castaneda, we're using death as an advisor, and it's kind of like, if this was your last moment on Earth, is this where you would want to be, right? You know, Don Juan reminds us that death is always a couple feet behind us, and so it forces us to always be choosing the path with heart, right? The path with heart, and I think that's the Death card reminds us of that. Yeah, and so we don't want to waste any time. No time is actually wasted, okay? But it's an expression that we use. We don't want to spend any unnecessary time involved with something that it's not meant for us. Maybe it was meant for you for a time. Maybe this is something or someone that came into your life as a visitor temporarily, right? Passing through. Maybe this has been something that you've already been attached to for a while. Okay? Nothing is ever wasted. Nothing was ever a waste of time. There was a lesson in there. There was an experience in there that is useful in some way. But we have to understand now, if the message is this thing is expiring, it's time to go on. Are we clinging to something that's already been all used up and there's no there's nothing left there spiritually for us to gain from it. Okay? So it's the kind of the law of diminishing returns. We're clinging to something perhaps that we feel in our gut we need to let go of. Right? The longer we hold on to it, it's setting us back a little bit. We're kind of backsliding on the path. So the death card is that kind of big question. Do I need to let go of this? Is this something that has fulfilled its time here, has run its course in my life, and it's time for me to allow it to pass through my life? Okay. And also this is one of our big hopes, is that we're going to continue moving forward. And if we're not moving forward, we're moving backward. And moving backward is really is disharmony. And maybe we feel disharmony when we kind of experience life moving backwards instead of forward. Okay, time marches on, you know. Things are always moving forward, and if we're not a partnership with the force of change, now this is that nature of nature, this is the fundamental force of the universe. This is the change card, right? How am I changing in this situation? Do I feel like my life is moving forward? Do I feel like I'm expanding and growing and developing? Or does it feel like I'm out of harmony with the process of change, and so maybe it feels like we're going backwards? But what's really happening is that we're going forward in a direction we don't want to go. We're becoming somebody we don't want to become. Our life is becoming something that we maybe don't want it to become. In the future position, the way forward for you is to do the thing you know to be right, even though it may not feel good. Three of Wands is the card of virtue. Okay. Now I feel like there is an R named person in your life somewhere, and there's something to do with cinnamon or some kind of like sweet, spicy things. I don't know. Maybe it's the cinnamon thing for you. But an R named person. I don't know what the R. Maybe it's the name of a business or the name of something. I don't know. The Three of Wands is the virtue. This is us knowing what the right thing is and doing it. Being able to direct our attention to what is right and correct for us, not in any kind of broader moral sense. Doing what's right for me, even when it doesn't feel good, even when the ego is saying, you know, I want to do something fun, or even when there's that other part of our ego that's saying, we should stay here even though we're miserable. We should stay here even though we feel this tension. It's kind of a guilt, right? So the flip side of all of this is that, you know, the ego is going to always be trying to trick us into activating a pattern, activating a complex from our past. Okay, so we feel the Five of Wands and we think, okay, maybe that's just the ego saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable here. Let's go do something fun, right? But maybe this is the ego saying, yeah, I know we should be getting out of here. I know this isn't right for us, but we just can't leave. That wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be nice of us. We couldn't do that to this other person, or we would just feel bad for leaving, you know? And so the ego is then kind of doing that guilt thing, saying, well, I got to stay because I said I would. I got to stay because I don't want to make the other person feel bad, or, you know, I don't want to be a quitter, right? So we kind of force ourselves to stay in something that we know deep down is like not the virtuous thing for us, right? And that, I think our virtue confuses us a lot because, you know, virtue doesn't always mean doing the thing that is, you know, going to be worse for me but better for everybody else. You know, that's the virtue. I'm putting myself in harm's way so I can do the right thing, right? You know, it's doing the right thing regardless of kind of who's watching. Regardless of, well, I've got to do that thing for them because otherwise I'd feel guilty about doing that, but then we're kind of doing something that's against ourselves, and so it really creates a lot of tension. And so it really becomes, well, what the heck do I do? It's not as simple as you find a wallet on the street, right? And you say, well, what's good for me would be to take the money, right? I could use the cash. But no, what would be better for everybody, including me, is to find the owner of the wallet, turn it into the establishment, or you know, do whatever you do when you find something like that. Turn it into the lost and found, or I don't know what the recourse is, but it's really an obvious solution, right? Yeah, it'd feel better to take the money, but would it really? No. it'd feel good maybe surface level. The ego would be like, you know, I got $10, but I think we would be haunted by that choice, you know. But it's not always that easy. That seems like it's quite simple, you know, how to kind of override those base kind of egoic desires and say, no, obviously I'm not going to take the money out of someone's wallet, you know. But in a situation like this, what is the right thing? I think that's why we have to have this conversation with ourselves and find out what is really going on here. Because if we have to take our life in a different direction and somebody else doesn't like that, that's an unfortunate consequence, right? But the alternative is that you please that person, but you're betraying yourself. Okay, and that's kind of that's the discernment. That's what we need to be. We need to judge that. Okay. Maybe the mystery card's going to be the Justice card. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button. These readings are totally free. Okay. So the Seven of Wands is we're trying to have the discipline. I think we know we're fighting a losing battle here. We're wrestling with ourselves, and we know ourselves are going to win. So I feel like we keep banging our head against the same problem here. And maybe in terms of this situation even, maybe it's that, you know, every time that you come to the table with this person, place, or thing, there's the same kind of fight, the same kind of arguments. It's an impasse. And it's kind of saying like, how many times am I going to keep coming back and doing the same thing and trying to make it work and having the same result? Okay. I think that you're somebody who has really tried to make it work. You've tried to force yourself to feel comfortable here. Tried to force yourself to feel like this is a temporary thing I just need to push through, right? But this is that valor that comes from virtue. It sometimes comes from that ego place or those complexes that say, it doesn't matter what my true self wants, doesn't matter what ego wants, doesn't matter what anything wants or needs, or doesn't matter what's right, doesn't matter what's true, doesn't matter how I feel, doesn't matter what's in the depth of my soul. I've committed to something, and this is the hill I'm going to die on, you know? And so it's valor. It's an admirable quality. But to me, it feels like kind of a waste of good energy, you know? This is a controversial view, but I feel even with couples that have been married for decades, 50 years. I know couples that have been married for literally 56, going on 60 years now. Okay? And we automatically want to say, oh, wow, that's great. That's a wonderful endurance, you know. But then we have to ask, okay, are those people in a situation that's helping them grow? Have they been growing through that? Have they been sacrificing and limiting themselves? Have they been forcing themselves to be stuck in a situation that has been constricting to their very own soul and their very own nature? Then it becomes actually quite sad, you know. And I don't want this to be a bummer of a reading, because I feel like you're recognizing something sooner rather than later. Before you spend decades with your stamp collection, you're going to feel, hey, wait a minute, stamp collection, it's not for me. Okay. And so I think that you're going to, this maybe I'm interjecting my opinion, but I feel as if you're going to let the Princess of Wands have a little bit of a voice. If these impulses are coming to you, that you want a relationship with more growth, more passion, more love, more magic, more intensity. You want to do the work. You want to live. You want to have this zest about you in your life, right? I think we're allowing the Princess of Wands to have a voice. And maybe that means we're going to think about it more. Maybe that means we're going to experiment. Maybe that means we're going to look at different options. Maybe that means we're going to go out and we're going to try different things to see what works, to see what fits for us. Okay? You're going to have a relationship that's full of passion and full of magic. You're going to have a relationship that makes you feel stronger, not weaker. It makes you feel as if you're growing into your true self, not constricted in your energy. something that is helping you to discover and sort of transmit your true self and your essence. You're going to find a relationship with a person, a place, or a thing that's going to inspire you. That's going to make you feel more creative, more powerful, more strong, not less. Because this is what we want, right? The Eight of Pentacles is the only earth energy we have, and it's sort of the difficulty. This is repetition. This is, to me, this is doing the same thing and not getting any other results. That we just keep banging our head against the wall's still there, okay? Nothing changes. This, to me, feels like it's a repetition of things over and over and over again. It may feel like we're doing the same thing over and over again, but there is growth and there is change and there's evolution here. So this is the recognition, too, that anything that's worthwhile takes time to develop and grow. So we got to keep that Princess of Wands in check, because the Princess of Wands will pick up a guitar and watch one YouTube video and say, oh, I'm not good at guitar, I want to do something else. Go pick up the drumsticks. Watch one video on YouTube and think, drums aren't for me. That's not what I lost interest. I'm going to go try something else. I'm going to go pick up the kazoo, and I'll do a couple minutes of that, and then the Princess of Wands will say, oh, I've lost interest. It's too hard. I don't like it. It's not for me, you know? And so we have to keep that in check. Otherwise, like, again, we have to give voice to the Princess of Wands, but we don't want to let the Princess of Wands completely steer the boat. We want to listen to it, but not put it in charge. Okay? Because we realize that something that is going to, anything that we want to pursue, whether it's a relationship with a person, a place, a thing, a skill, an activity, a sport, a musical instrument, or anything else, it's going to take time. It's going to take repetitions for us to really get good and for us to see the growth. It's not just a magic pill. We take a pill, suddenly I know Kung Fu. No, you've got to develop those skills. It takes time, okay? And I think you realize that. And it may even take time to grow into a person who kind of knows what we want. We may have to go through a lot of iterations of finding something, giving it a chance, and then going through this gut feeling, like going through this whole process. This may take a lot of time before we find the thing that we are absolutely going to marry ourselves to. This is that card of marriage. This is the card that says, yes, it's drums. That's for me. This is the thing that I feel a passion for. Even when, in my own case, I feel such a passion for drumming. I haven't played the drums in years, to be honest with you. But I still feel that passion. I still have that commitment. I think about it every day. It's something that I've said heck yes to. I've married myself to that, even when I'm sort of feeling ill at ease because I haven't practiced in years, you know. It's still something that is so meaningful and inspiring to me. Even when I'm there and I am practicing and I feel like I'm not getting good at it, I'm not making any progress, I am, you know. And this is something like that for you. This is something that even if you were to be physically separated from it, it would not diminish the bond between the two of you. It's an unbreakable, this is a marriage, this is a match made in heaven, okay? Could be a person, a place, or a thing. And this is coming, okay? This is going to be the start of something really, really big for you. Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe this will be some more water energy. It could be a 9 or a 10 of cups. This could be a 6 of swords, wands, or cups, either way. Maybe a 6 of pentacles. It could be any other air energy. It could be maybe the Empress card. It could be the Justice card. All right, that would fit in there too. If you have an idea, put it in the comments. Let's see. The 8 of Swords. Well, I caused that, didn't I? Because I said we needed the air energy. We got to have the conversation. We got to think about it. We got to ask the questions, right? But not so much that we get tied up in our thinking and we don't end up changing anything. Sometimes we can journal about stuff for years. We can think about something forever until the cows come home. We're tied up in all these swords. We need to think about it, but we need to have that thought be a dialogue. Okay? And we need to use that dialogue to inspire action. We need to have a conversation, but not eternally. Right? It's the 8. It's the figure 8. It's the lemniscate, right? The infinity symbol. It just goes on and on and on. We keep having the same conversation literally for years and years and years and years and years. Nothing changes. Again, like we're journaling about something for our entire lives. We never actually do anything about it. So we need the conversation, but just a little bit, just enough to kind of say, hey, soul, what are you talking about in here? And then to allow it to become an action. Thinking, but not overthinking. Okay. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner and there's a link down below. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. Okay. New readings for Capricorn, usually on Thursdays and Sundays. I feel like you needed this extra reading in the interim, and I hope it resonated with you. I hope that it is at least starting a conversation with ourselves. Okay. Be sure to watch both of your regular readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.